countries. I should say that we have a huge, that's a little bit fast, but it's, okay. Second, sorry. Yeah, so we have 70 plus million millennials which are in our target audience, and we basically have a huge team of engineers who actually help build the support and the apps and all of the platforms to reach that audience. So we basically build a lot of mobile apps, a lot of games, a lot of VOD apps, websites, and we're trying to get to this virtual reality trend. We're still beginners in it, but this is why we host all of you, because we would like to hear from you if you have any ideas or you want to help us out. So our team is actually 3+ engineers distributed across the world, and we are actually all over, and we try to grow our Berlin team. So I just want to take the opportunity to tell you that if you feel that you have the capacities to take part of our engineering team, please feel free to reach one of those addresses or grab my card on the table there and just drop me an email with your CV. It doesn't matter, like if you're an engineer, a software engineer, or even hardware, just drop your CV and let's have a discussion. And if you're nice enough and you want to promote this event, just try to tweet to that hashtag. Welcome all, and please have fun, and don't burn the house.
So thank you, Amin. Yeah, I wouldn't burn the house, but let's rock the house, okay? So, yeah, so let's some logistics here. Also, we have drinks in the back over there. So please have, it's for free. It's sponsored by Viacom, so take the opportunity. Sorry, no alcohol and stuff. Yeah? So only beverages, refreshing stuff, soft drinks. So let me also say that this event is not just on Twitter, but also streamed to Viacom headquarters in New York, right? And also I think on the public internet as well. So if anybody has a problem, please leave. So also there's a 360 camera up here in front, and somebody asked what's the benefit of recording this in 360? It's a simple thing. The audience reaction also is visible. So, and you can be there, right? So anybody cannot attend this meeting has the opportunity to experience this in VR later. So just that's why this camera's up here. Don't get disturbed. Demo-wise, we have, let's go to the agenda first. So we are switching a little bit because of logistics reasons. LightShape, we will be the first to present here. Then we will have, yeah, basically the HTC talk, and there's no HTC talk today because they are just doing the demos, but we will talk, the VR nerds are here and they have the developer experience, so they will tell you firsthand how it's to develop for the Vive. So that's the idea. And the third talk will be Thorsten and Sarah about this 48 hours in VR inside the HTC Vive. So we're talking about a lot of Vives here, but we have also a DK2 here, we have Gear VRs here, so it's pretty much everything that's out there is available here. Demo-wise, the HTC guys will be here until 10 o'clock and they will be demoing the whole time. So they usually, a demo lasts about 10 minutes, so they can do 6 people an hour. So please just feel, if you're not interested in a specific talk, then just go there and stand in line. And I hope this will somehow work, that we don't have a long answer here. And the Lucid Trips demo is also a Vive demo, so if you want to experience the Vive, the same device is also there twice. So we also have other developers here, and I want to bring them on stage actually. Mark Müller, can you lift up? I don't know where you're sitting. Oh, he's demoing, okay. So he's over there, he's doing his Spybot game, so that's a DK2 experience. We also have Philip Redding from India in the room. Where are you? Yeah, can you stand up and do your little pitch? 2 minutes, someone in front. And please, just two minutes, what is your experience about?
Sure. This should not be so much a pitch as more an announcement. We're an VR company based in Berlin, Kreuzberg, focused on 360 video and also interactive VR experiences based on photorealistic processes, let's say. And we're actually really looking for people to help us out. We're actually hiring, we're looking for new compositors and also programmers. So if you're interested in this, please come talk to my colleague Sönke. And Christian, maybe you can also just raise your hand real quick. Or to me afterwards. That's basically it. We will also have a beer later on to show our latest work. And yeah, let's have some fun.
Or you can apply for a job at Live.
So, okay, this is not a recruiting event. Yeah, and I myself bought also two VRs where you can see pretty standard introduction demos. So if you have never experienced VR and you want to have a brief introduction, there's two VRs with Neos Universe and Van Gogh, which is pretty entry level but very good, not motion sick problematic entry experiences. Okay, drinks are already set. So I think, let's see, anything on my list? No. Yeah, I think we are ready to go. So, any questions, comments up front, or can we start? No? Okay, then please, LightShape. Guys, come up on stage. And this is, as far as I understood, they have built something that is in Star Trek, but for real. And it's called the holodeck. So let's see what this is about. Robin, it's your turn.
All right. Thank you, Alex. Yeah, welcome. Thank you for having us here. I'm really actually quite impressed how many people are in here. In Stuttgart, we recently have been to the VR meetup, and I think there were about 40 people, so a lot less. So yeah, we need to get used to that many people here. Okay. 1 second. There we go. I'm a CEO and co-founder at LightShape. So what we do is basically, I give you a brief introduction of what we're doing. We started out 8 years ago, and we're actually a CG production company. So we started out doing visualizations for agencies, architects, building industry, and meanwhile we have a little bit more of a focus in like more technical visualizations. So we're doing more engineering and more automotive and a little bit of medicine. And after a while we started adding some more interactive media. So because we thought the step from CG production to interactive is not that far, so it could help us, and so we started doing configurators, web applications, augmented and mixed reality, and yeah, also some interactive expositions. And of course, that's why we're here. We started working in virtual reality in 2012. It became affordable for us to do the step into virtual reality with head-mounted displays. So because an Oculus, of course, is not that expensive. And yeah, because we had an automotive background, the first thing we started, what we thought what would be nice to do was a car configurator. So we did that one in 2014 already. It's pretty much the same thing that Audi showed at the CES with an HTC Vive, of course. So around that time we had contact with Max Planck Institute in Tübingen, and I think they were one of the first ones who had this, we call it meanwhile now room scale VR. That name didn't exist at that time, and they were having a big DK1 solution, and we thought, okay, this is really cool. We need to drop this wire somehow, and then we can dive into virtual reality but with the DK2, of course, because the DK1, you know it, guys, the resolution was really bad. And so, yeah, we started scouting, and we found also in the VR community some other people who were working on this issue, because making a DK2 wireless is a little bit more complicated than it used to be with the DK1. So that took a little bit of extra work. Yeah, so what we basically did, we call it a holodeck. A lot of people having, or some do have a room scale VR meanwhile, and they call it holodeck as well. It's so obvious actually. And yeah, so what we have is an optical infrared tracking system. So you see it in the back here a little bit. Those are the cameras. We have this modified DK2, and at home our space is a little bit limited. So we have like 3.5 by 4.5 meters. What is actually, it's not cool because it's really too tiny. So it should be a lot wider and bigger. So if we build it up externally, we're able to crank it up to 10 by 10 meters. Actually 5 by 5 is already quite nice, because if you're in a, let's say, limited space, and you know there is a wall out there, you can't see it, but it's somewhere in 1.5 meters, that just messes with your brain a little bit. You don't feel comfortable. Yeah, what we also have, or actually, with other cameras, we would have the potential to extend the volume to 35 by 35 meters. And we have multi-users in it, and the system is Unity-based. The controllers that we're using at the moment, they are either with the lead motion, what a lot of people do, just mount it on the DK2. That has a lot of limitations. Or the other one, or the other option would be with PS Move controllers, which are modified. And yeah, probably some of you who are into the VR business, they might have seen somewhere some other holodecks. It's really hard to overview what's going on all over the place. Of course, we can't check out all of them. We just have the feedback from some or a lot of people who were able to check out different systems. So obviously, it seems like ours has a very precise position in comparison to the other ones, and the latency is very, very low. So of course there is a latency, there's always one, but that one is not perceptible, and that's actually quite important. We have a little video. Unfortunately, I can't show you the holodeck over here. Yes, those are the setups. This is our tiny little room. Those are the side bags at the moment. We just recently remodeled them, and now we're having backpacks. Those are the old avatars that we're having. Because if you're a multi-user and you're in virtual reality, you need an avatar. Else you're having those crashing issues. Actually the old lead motion version that we're using at the moment. We haven't had the time yet to look into the new one, the new SDK. And yeah, what I actually want to show you is some cases that we already did. So we were lucky enough to do some projects with it already. One of it was the car configurator. Actually, this project that I'm showing you here is not a real project. We did some similar ones, actually some more of it, but they're confidential. So what I'm showing you here right now is like a modified version of the projects that we're doing. So this one is a multi-user experience. The volume is 9 by 9 meters, and also the navigation in this case is also either with lead motion. As you guys know, it's very limited, so we're having this issue that you can't, it just lasts for 40 centimeters, maybe 50 centimeters, and then it's done. So all this, what it's good for is that you're able to see your own hands. So we're using the image hands inside, but for the other person who's looking at you, he does see your hand in 3D. So because we think it's important, so if you as your own person that you don't have any glitches if you move your fingers. And for the other one, it's not that important. So we're taking the hands, just the position. We're not showing the fingers in there, because for us it's just important that people are able to point at some things. So if they're talking about objects in virtual reality, so they're saying, okay, this design or that design needs to be changed, they need to be able to point at it, and they need to be able to look at it. So they need to see some kind of a little bit the reaction of the other person. And the other option is doing it with the PlayStation Move controller, which is a lot more precise. So for engineering, this is a lot better. And so there you have the option to use it as a laser pointer. And the fun thing actually is, no matter if you have any top managers, the first thing that they are doing, if they have those pointers, they use it as a laser sword. That always happens. Yeah, and I'll show you the next slide. So yeah, what we're using the Leap Motion for is with you have a GUI inside, and that basically enables you to switch either the rims, to switch the colors, to switch the environments, or things like those. And yeah, it's always a fun thing to do, to see your body in there. Yeah, so that's basically the car configurator, the first thing. And another project I'd like to show you. The request was actually really cool because the client was Juke, which is a brand of Media Saturn, and they were having those some kind of innovation days at their headquarters, and they intended to turn their own bar into the rooftop scene of the movie Hangover. That was their intention. And so I thought, okay guys, this is really cool. Said to all the other people in our office, we're like, okay, we need to do this, this is gonna be fun. And so we only had 3 weeks, and so we did some kind of a Vegas imitation, not really, but a little bit. And yeah, so at this demo there, we were building up a volume with 4 by 8 meters. We were implementing 3D sound, but also that really extends the immersion. That really helps. We had this vertical experience, and I'll show you real quick. So you were able to walk basically to the edge of the ceiling, and we'll look around. There's this bar scene. It's not really photorealistic actually. So we didn't have the budget and we didn't have the time. But the fun thing is, if you go to this edge, you're able to look down there. It's a whole city which is alive, so there are a lot of cars passing, the sound fits to it in 3D, and people get actually really scared. I still do. So if I go there, and I've done it 1,000 times, and I still think, okay, this is like really crazy feeling. And yeah, of course you're able to do the step and just fly a little bit around. And yeah, you would be amazed how many people are not able to do this. I mean, they could cheat actually and just close their eyes and walk around and tell you, okay, it's totally easy, you go back and open it, but they won't do it. So they're like 15% of the people, they're just not doing it. They're too scared. Yeah, and the third project that we're doing, yeah, here in Berlin you have some experience with some troubled building projects as well. So we have our Stuttgart 21 at home, and yeah, so we did a demo for that one. At the beginning of this year, they had 3 days where people were able to check out the project state. And one part of the exhibition was the holodeck. So people, just passengers who were passing by, were able to check out the holodeck and check out the future building site, how it's going to look like in 2021, if this is still the date. We're hoping for it. Yeah, and so what we did there, we had a 5 by 5 meter volume, which of course is not much. So if you have a huge building site, that of course doesn't help you to get anywhere. But so we did this kind of, let's say, teleportation thing. People were able to teleport from one position to another one. And so they always had this 25 square meters where they could walk around and have a little bit of feeling how the train's gonna come in, how they pass by, and how it's gonna look like in the future. So that was kind of a fun thing. and yeah, show you some pictures. Yep. Maybe some feedback. Some of the people, unfortunately, in German.
Sie befinden sich im neuen Bahnhof zum Zeitpunkt 2021.
Wir sind heute gekommen wegen den Tagen der offenen Baustelle und haben im Rahmen des Projekts eigentlich hier die virtuelle Brille aufsetzen dürfen und den Bahnhof zum ersten Mal sehen dürfen.
So we have a lot of people there lasting from 4-year-olds with our side bags scrubbing over the floor. We had 80-year-old people, we had some disabled persons, one actually came with his electric wheelchair. So that's really scared us because we weren't really sure how much control he will have and we were scared he would crash into our rig, but worked out just fine. Yeah, so the feedback that we got so far is very positive. Actually, it's a lot more positive than we thought. Because at the beginning, when we started out in 2012, 2013, we still imagine a lot of people would have issues wearing VR goggles. But so far, people from all ages are very open to it. And another thing in the holodeck that we experience is that people are not having any motion sickness anymore. With a cable-connected version, we were having 10 to 20% of people who got really motion sick, like immediately. And now, after probably 3,000 people, we were having, let's say, 10 to 15 who were saying that they didn't really feel well. But that would take a lot more research, so what happened there? Because there's some potential issues. For example, the calibration, if that doesn't work fine, that's going to be awful. And another thing that's quite interesting, so if you have a car or any kind of object standing in front of you and it feels real to you, so but you're able to go in it, that is, you won't believe how weird this feeling is. This is really odd for a lot of people, and that could cause some kind of sickness as well. So we're having people, they're standing in front of the car and they're saying, okay, what am I supposed to do? How can I enter? We're like, yeah, just don't get distracted by any physics. Just go straight through it. And so like, okay, really? And so they're like, okay, this feels weird. And some of them, what they're doing, they're starting to go in with their bag first, for some reason, what kind of makes sense to me, because you probably sacrifice rather your butt than your head. So that does make sense. Yeah, and another thing is that people are completely forgetting where they are. So if they're for several minutes in there, they have no orientation anymore to the reality. And yeah, just like you've seen with a Juke project, the rooftop scene, as I said, it wasn't really photorealistic, but that it doesn't take to be that photorealistic. Of course, the visual quality doesn't suck. Yeah. Of course not, but the perspective experience is so high that the immersion still works. And yeah, of course there are also some critics, especially in the engineering business. There are always two popping up. That is the performance. A lot of people, they would like to have a cluster hanging behind it with dozens or maybe thousands of PCs. That's not going to work at the moment. And of course the display resolution. Which works for a lot of things, but if you are some kind of a design or prototyping guy and you really need to see some detailed iconographics, doesn't help you with that resolution. So we're hoping that the future will bring there some better technique for that. And yeah, what we'd like to see is also some more research about this topic. I mean, it's brand new at the moment, so so there are no long-term analyses how it affects these people. So one time it popped up the question, so what happens in the future if people are really starting to work for, let's say, 4 hours in virtual reality and passing this car all the time? In reality, is there a problem maybe for them later so that they would crash into a real car? I couldn't really answer that. And maybe there will later be some rules for some people that they're not allowed to do some things for several hours. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Yeah. that's basically from our experience with our holodeck. Thank you for your attention, and if you have any questions,